Like, what actor do you want to see star in a running movie?
Chris Pratt.
I kind of want to see Will Ferrell.
Chase, you were kissing bricks not too long ago.
The Indy Mini is one of the, I know it's in the top 10 biggest half marathons in the country. You actually get to run a loop around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, guys, we're all doing Chicago.
I'm still going for a BQ at Chicago. My coach still thinks I can get it.
What happens when three runners
From different parts of the country,
with different running stories,
all get together?
pure
RunTok.
madness,
So listen in as we talk about all things running related.
and some things that maybe aren't running related.
As it's bound to be a good time. This is
Run
Talk
Talk Live.
How is it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Run Talk Live. And
Cameron,
while
who-
we are,
who is this guy?
yeah, right.
Who is this guy?
I missed one episode. All right, one episode.
One episode too many. Okay. Okay. So
I'm sorry, but from what I understand, we were, the episode was, surrounded by Brooks, Brooks fans, Brooks people. So
Yeah, you ditched me with those Brooks nerds, man.
yeah, sorry, not sorry, but sorry at the same. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
wasn't too bad. Greg was a lot of fun, and I hope
You
our
are.
listeners, check out his documentary.
Yep. Check out our episode, which is up now on YouTube and Spotify, which has the link to his documentary in the description. So for sure, check that out.
Hey, speaking of documentary, the movie finally came out. I think it was a couple weeks ago. That new Mark Wahlberg movie that is about the ultra runner,
With the dog.
Arthur the King, I think it is.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks,
that looked really good.
yeah, it's on Amazon Prime already, so I'm probably gonna buy it because it does look. It got good reviews too. Like it's
Yeah.
a slow burn, but then once it picks up, it's supposed to be a good movie.
I am a total dog person now. Like, ever since I got a dog a few years ago, I am such a lovey-dovey dog lover. I was even on my way to work this morning, and it was pouring down rain, and there's two golden retrievers that ran across the highway, and they were in the middle of the highway when I went by, and there's semi trucks coming the other way, and I was just it's man, I hope I don't see those dogs dead on the side of the road on my way home. I'm gonna be beating myself up. I should have gotten out in the pouring rain and made sure those dogs got to safety, but luckily all clear on the way home, so they must have made it across safely.
Nice. Yeah, any movie that has a dog in it tends to pull on my heartstrings a little bit in some way, shape, or form if it's dog focused. Carolyn, I love that you're writing down the title of this movie like you're gonna watch it. It's been 26 years, you still haven't seen Without Limit, so
Okay, so okay, you got me there. But I am actually looking at this movie. Is it in theaters right now?
it's in theaters, and you can also get it on most streaming platforms. You can pay for it.
Okay, that's fine. But for the listener, the movie is called Arthur the King. And the synopsis is an adventure racer adopts a stray dog named Arthur to join him in an epic endurance race.
Yeah, it's a true story. That's the other thing.
Took place in Australia, is that right?
Yeah.
That's where the race was anyway.
Yep, and it's not so much that he adopted it; it's that they found the dog along the way on the course.
Well, and they may have embellished in the movie, but from the trailer, they ran into it at the base camp, and then 200 miles away, it randomly shows up again, and it was like it was following them. So,
but it beats them, and so they decide to let the dog lead the way because the dog is getting there faster than they're getting there.
Sure, yeah.
That's so
Not sure if we can show the trailer on here because of copyrights and whatnot. I'm sure we could. We're telling you all about the trailer right now.
Yeah, I wish they would they need to make more running movies. We got so many runners now in the world.
Well, I
And
mean, we
this
got
one
Mark
isn't a
Wahlberg in to star in one, so
yeah.
that's a step in the right direction. We got some big name actors.
Who's? I think we talked about this before. Who is the next runner biography going to be on? Like the movie like we got Prefontaine, right? We got that movie. What is it? Oh, I can't even think of it right now. But
The
there's a
one
couple
that
of them out there.
I'd like to see a movie version of the Running with the Buffaloes book. That would be a really good one.
Yeah.
Or if somebody wanted to play, I don't know who could play Alan Webb, but like a movie about Alan Webb would be really good. Or even Galen Rupp.
Have they made
Yeah.
a movie yet about the first woman to run the Boston Marathon?
No.
Because that would be a good one.
That would be a good one, yeah.
So I just looked it up. The movie called Race, RACE, which is the story about Jesse Owens, which it's a Disney movie, so it turned out pretty good. You got McFarlane USA, which is, I mean, it's not a biography, but it's a true story movie. So there's some good like mainstream movies out there, but I wish we could get some more mainstream like running movies because there's a lot of independent films. The Barkley Marathons documentary, the 9/11 or not 9/11, but the Boston Marathon bombing documentary. Um, I'm looking at a couple of these desert runners, but some mainstream movies. Run Fat Boy Run is still one of my favorite like running movies of all time. I love that movie. Let's do some more of that.
Well, and they have Brittany Runs a Marathon, which is
Yeah.
also a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. Every time you recommend a movie, I end up hating it. Like, I watched let's bring back Idiocracy, okay? I lost brain cells.
Hey,
It's
it's
kind
not
of the
our fault that they just don't make good comedies anymore, man. Like it's rough.
Yeah, I was actually so I am sober right now. Just personal choice. So I walk in with a Heineken 0.0 beer into the living room and I look at my husband and I go, Heineken, it's what the plants crave. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
but it has sodium.
We watched my wife she got this urge to watch Big Daddy a few weeks ago. We sat down and watched Big Daddy. I mean,
One of Adam Sandler's greats. Like
definitely.
we could do a whole episode on Adam Sandler and his movies.
And I've been
So
craving McDonald's breakfast ever since too.
just make sure you get there on time, right? They changed their time.
I keep not thinking about it before 10:30 a.m.
It used to be 11. Oh, they changed it. Great.
There needs to be a good running comedy. That's what we need. We need a good running comedy.
I mean, Run Fat Boy Run and Brittany Runs a Marathon. Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Yeah.
I still kind of put that in the independent film sector. Like it's in between independent film.
Yeah.
And then you got, Run Fat Boy Run, which is more of like a British comedy version of running. But yeah, we need something, some sort of just I don't even know. There's a void there. We need something. Chase, I'll start with you, Chase. Who would you want to see play a runner? Like what actor do you want to see star in a running movie? Carolyn, you think about this too, because
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt would be great. Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
yes.
where he tried to start working out. This is before he got in shape, before like Guardians of the Galaxy and Jurassic Park and all that. So he was still like legitimately a fat guy in that show. He starts working out. Rob Lowe's character's like cheering him on.
I could see Chris Pratt, especially for a comedy themed running movie. I could see him doing it for sure. I don't know, Carolyn, what do you got?
I kind of want to see Will Ferrell he's done Blades of Glory. The man learned how to ice skate, so I feel like he would crush it at running.
What's that soccer movie he did where he was the coach of the kids?
It's
Oh. It was like
Kicking and
screaming
screaming.
something?
Kicking and
Yes.
screaming.
Kicking
Yeah.
and screaming, yeah.
Yeah, I could see his like
And then
personality.
semi-pro where he was a basketball player.
Yeah, semi-pro too. Yeah,
See, all these sports and he's missing running.
I think he would be great in a movie about masters track athletes.
Ooh. That'd be fun. Have him
What?
have his event be like the 50-meter one that's not hard.
this got me. I'm gonna write Paramount now or something. I don't know, whoever the running studios are.
Put together the script.
I'm gonna put together. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna put together something. Did you guys see on TikTok? Well, I saw it on TikTok, but there's the guy that ran the entire perimeter, I believe, of Africa.
What?
And like he got kidnapped a couple of times. He was robbed. His like there, yeah, it was on. I don't know if you guys follow News Daddy Dylan, but I follow him on TikTok, and he reports on news that like mainstream news won't report on. But yeah, this guy, like he was kidnapped. He was held for ransom, and he just kept going. And, like they eventually let him go. He just kept going, and he just finished it like a couple weeks ago.
Oh my
You
god.
have to look. I don't know. I forget his name, but he ran the entire perimeter of Africa.
That's a long way. I don't know how far that
is.
is.
That's running across the country currently, from California to New York, except he's doing it barefoot.
Yikes.
Well, and Laz, who hosts the Barkley Marathons, is currently going coast to coast, running and hiking.
Is he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny because people will see him like on the side of the highway just taking a smoke break. I'm like, you know what?
If
Whatever.
you guys got an invite to participate in the Barkley Marathons, would you do it?
No, because I would end up getting lost somewhere with no signal, or I would get lost near the jail section, and I'd be done. Like, good luck. Can't.
What about you, Chase?
What is there a penalty for like dropping out? I feel like I would, if I got invited, I would go and then like right at the start just be like, I'm done, and then just be a spectator and just go to the finish line and wait for everybody at that point.
I mean, there's no penalty. You would just be the guy that dropped out before,
Right.
before the race. Like everyone started except for this guy.
He literally just sat down. He just went straight for the snacks.
No, I know they have names. I mean, I forget. I don't know enough, but they have names for like if you do one loop, you obtain one title. If you do two loops, there's another title. There's like title names for completing each loop. I just don't remember what they are.
That's some research.
I don't know though, Carolyn. I mean, if I you guys know I hate trail running, but if I got invited to do it, if they're like, Jake, we want you to come do the Barkley Marathons, I'm not going to say no. I'm going to suck and probably cry the entire time, but I would do it. I don't know, just thinking out loud.
No, and that's why
whatever floats your boat, dude.
Well, and that's why I think people have so much respect for those runners is, I mean, even completing one loop, let alone 5. Like, it's unheard of.
Yeah, they're absolute beasts.
And also, going back to the movie question, you know who I think has the build and the ability to play a runner in a movie? And I can't think of his name, but it's the guy that plays Loki.
We've already talked about Tom Cruise a bunch of times on here, Jake.
Well, it's Tom Cruise.
I'm thinking bringing it up.
it's the guy that plays Loki, which I think his name is also Tom something.
Tom Hiddleston, yeah.
Tom Hiddleston. I could see him playing a runner in a movie.
Yeah. for sure.
He's got like that. I'm not bulky, but I'm not super skinny. He's got that like runner's build to him. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
and he's probably in shape enough to where he could do it. There's some actors out there that are legit like decent runners that do marathons.
Yeah,
There's the
and it's
guy. I was gonna say there's the guy that he used to be the co-host of that show Catfished on MTV,
mhm.
and now he does all the marathons, and he usually volunteers. He's like a blind guide runner, um, but he has a bunch of stuff on TikTok too, where he runs pretty decent times. Will Ferrell's done some marathons.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say that for like the Boston Marathon or the New York Marathon, Runner's World will usually come out with an article, and it's like, here are these celebrities' times, see if you can beat them. And there's a couple presidents who have run New York City in like sub 4 hours. A lot of actors. So it's like, ooh, I mean, you can have a time goal, but what if you want to beat President Clinton's time or Will Ferrell's time? So it adds an extra challenge.
Yep, it does.
So, okay, so back to the Barkley marathons, because I am researching. So, bib number 1, we would all get it because it's the bib number for the human sacrifice. Okay? Like, oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, I know I would be well deserving of number 1 for that reason alone.
Oh.
I don't know. But so Chase, you ran the half marathon, the Indy Mini,
Yep.
and I was going to start off this by saying, Chase, you were kissing bricks not too long ago. But so what's the story? Yeah, what's the story behind that? Like, what's the history behind that?
So it's part of the Indy 500. Big. Of course, it's the 500 Indianapolis Motor Speedway is also known as the Brickyard, and it's just part of when you go there to race, the racers, after they get done, they get down and kiss the bricks. So the Indy Mini is one of the, I know it's in the top 10 biggest half marathons in the country. Because you actually get to run a loop around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And they set up a bunch of cameras and everything right over the bricks, and you get down and kiss the bricks and do the whole shebang.
So you kiss the bricks during the race, like before you cross the finish?
Yeah, it's like halfway. It's it's about 8 miles in, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All
yeah,
right.
you run out. You start in like the middle of downtown Indy, not far from where the Monumental started. Pretty close, actually, pretty close to where the Monumental started. And you run out to the town or suburb of Speedway in Indianapolis, which is where the Speedway's at. And yeah, it's about, you get there around just before 6 miles. And then, of course, the loop is about it's a 3-mile loop. So you run into the speedway and then you run around the track, kiss the bricks. You don't have to. A lot of people around me didn't, because they were just trying to run fast. But then you exit the speedway and run back to downtown Indy.
Okay, so it's an out and back. I was thinking it was a point to point and you finished on the track.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. It's an out and back. I mean, not directly out and back. It loops back around. It doesn't take the same route back, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I got the hat on. I was telling you guys earlier, the hat is a part of the race. They hand out a hat with the race every year, so a lot of people who do it every year collect the hats. So it's usually a little extravagant, not really my style, but I figured I'd sport it tonight anyway.
And you signed up kind of last minute, like you weren't planning on doing it.
And kudos to kudos to the race director, the registration director. I can't remember her name. I'd have to look it up. But I signed up on the very last day that you could sign up. And I didn't realize it when I signed up, but that actually put me outside of it was too late to get seated. So I wasn't going to be ranked on my time. And what I did was I actually emailed the registration director. Again, I can't remember her name. I'm trying to look it up. Lydia. I emailed her and she just said, "Hey, come by the expo and we'll put a different sticker and get you into a faster corral." Well, I explained to her that part of the reason that I signed up so late was because I couldn't make it up there for the expo. So I was going to have to go up there the morning of the race, which is about a 2-hour drive for me. But my brother, his girlfriend ran it, so he was going to be there. So he picked up my packet. He was able to go and see their registration desk, show the email from Lydia, and I got put all the way up into the A corral. So appreciate them working with me on that. I didn't run the time that I wanted to still, but I appreciate them going to that work for me.
Yeah, that's awesome when you got a race director that's willing to work with you and be flexible on that.
Yeah. Especially like we talked about it a lot, or we've talked about it on here a lot. I mean, the amount of work that probably goes into organizing a race of that size. I mean, this is 15, 16,000 people that do this. So like to get everybody corralled, I understand that there's difficulties. I wasn't going to throw a fit if I didn't get in. It was my fault that I didn't read the fine print there. But yeah, the fact that it was able to happen was pretty awesome.
Yep. Well, guys, we're all doing Chicago. Carolyn, I know you've started your training block. I've started the base level of my training block, meaning I call it like the precursor. Just building up my base miles. What about you, Chase? Where are you at?
I'm 5 months out. Whatever that is. Whatever 5 months out is.
Yep.
No, I'm still trying to decide on what I'm gonna do. I'm looking at making some changes. Obviously, Carmel didn't go my way, and I really want to kind of get back to doing some things. Reflecting on some of my better races from the past few years. Carmel back in 2021, Boston in 2022 are the ones that come to mind. The ones that I really felt like I was in the best shape at. So I'm trying to reflect on those and get back to what I was doing then that had me running so well.
What about you, Carolyn?
So I'm a little okay. So I finally took an off season after 3 years of burnout. And then I ran a 5K this past weekend just to see where my fitness was at. And I ran 20 seconds slower than my PR, which isn't bad, but it's kind of heartbreaking when you think, shoot, like I feel like I'm going to be on fresh legs. So I'm still going for a BQ at Chicago. My coach still thinks I can get it. But it sucks to be starting, slower than what I thought I was going to be at. So there's going to be a lot of mental training.
For all intents and purposes, we are just over 21 weeks out. Like running a 5K 20 seconds slower than your PR right now is not a red flag in any way, shape, or form.
No. And so, and that showed me that the off season was needed, and that I need to develop a healthier relationship with running. Because I used to go for PR after PR, running all this mileage, overdoing it, and overtrained and didn't perform as well as I thought at Chicago. So throughout these next 21 weeks, I'm going to be really trusting my coach. My easy days, I don't even look at my watch. And kind of journaling a little bit just to kind of keep myself on track. But we're just going to have fun this cycle, man. So
Right on. Yeah, I'm
All right,
doing.
Jake.
I'm throwing in more nutrition because nutrition's my weakest aspect when it comes to training. And I'll actually be talking to a former guest of ours, Jeff Tomaszewski, who's actually getting his nutrition certificate, like nutritionist certification. Um, so I plan on communicating with him a bit more, getting some nutrition advice, and trying to stick with it. Um, I fasted recently just to drop some quick weight, which worked. I don't recommend anyone actually doing that during a training block, but I just want to drop some quick weight so I could start my nutrition plan at a lighter weight and then maintain it, with proper nutrition.
How long did you fast?
A little over 2 weeks. It was supposed to be 3 weeks, but I got to my weight goal in under 3 weeks. Um, or close to my weight goal. I wanted to drop 12 pounds, which I did do in just under 3 weeks.
No, did you actually? You didn't actually fast for those 3 weeks. You just
I
did
did
a series of
intermittent.
intermittent fasting, right?
Yeah, I did a 16/8 fast, meaning for the listener and viewer, I fasted for 16 hours, meaning I consumed nothing during that 16-hour time span other than water. And then for 8 hours, I can eat. And that 8 hours is generally going to be, for me, it was 11 to 7. So from 11 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock is when I'm allowed to eat. That makes that 16 hours easier to do because I go to bed at like 9:30, and I'm sleeping, hopefully, at least in bed for 8 of those hours, if not a little bit longer. And I usually don't eat breakfast anyways. So it's not a big miss for me to kind of miss that chunk in the morning. Um, the, the extreme that I take it to is I limit my calorie intake during that 8 hour span. So I'm consuming significantly lower calories than I probably should be consuming. But I'm eating all healthy calories too when I do it. So I was doing, no carbonation, no dairy, no sugar. Uh, I limited my protein intake. I didn't cut it out completely, but I limited it. And yeah, within it was like 18 days. Um, I had lost the 12 pounds that I wanted to lose.
And during your 8 hour block, were you eating like 2 meals? Were you
I
eating
only ate
small
one
meals
meal.
that, huh?
I ate one meal, and then I kind of had a couple of snacks, throughout
Okay.
that block. But it was one meal, and usually I would have that meal right around 1:30.
So I was
So
really into intermittent fasting, leading up to, well, probably 2020, maybe even through Carmel. And then, of course, I practiced keto
yeah,
leading up to Boston. Um, so yeah, I'm fairly familiar with intermittent fasting. I don't think I was doing maybe I was doing 16/8 when I was doing intermittent fasting, but yeah.
yeah. Now, for the record, for those of you listening and viewing, I did not follow any kind of nutrition plan when I did this. Like, I did this on my own. So I don't know how healthy or unhealthy this was. I just know I obtained the goal that I wanted to obtain. And I can't say it's going to work for everybody. Like, so don't take what I did with a grain of salt. It's what I did for me. Like, I'm not saying it's what you guys should be doing.
Sure. And that's the other thing. Like, everybody's different. When I say everybody is different. So you really have to figure out what's going to work for you. I mean, even a big TikTok guy, not in the running space, but Dr. Carnivore MD. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's
Mm-hmm.
big on the all meat diet, carnivore diet. But recently he came out and said, he wrote a book on this, and then recently came out and kind of admitted some of the flaws behind it. So he saw that it wasn't very good for a lot of people. So yeah, you just got to figure out what works for you and tinker with a few different things too. Like I said, I've practiced intermittent fasting. I've practiced keto, and right now I don't really practice any specific diet. I just kind of eat semi clean and controlled. Controlled might be a bit of a stretch. I kind of eat a lot, but
Yeah.
figure out what works for you.
I think a big tip, especially now, as we're getting older, our bodies don't process energy the way that it did in our 20s. Eating like after hours, like eating, when it's so easy to snack in the nighttime, and that actually is one thing that I will say is not a healthy habit to have. And no matter, even if you're eating healthy snacks, like at the end of the day, you're putting energy into your body that your body's not going to burn because you're about to go to sleep with it. And that ends up becoming, to an extent, gained weight, or unused energy that's just going to go rest in your body, essentially. That's one thing that I need to cut back on is, and I have, but I'm going to continue to cut back on is, eating my dinner and basically like, they always say 2 hours before you sleep, you shouldn't be eating, and sticking to that. And the other thing is I need to start going to bed earlier because I need to force myself to sleep more.
Carolyn, I denied it all the way up until I turned 30. Everybody always told me, they're like, you turn 30, your metabolism goes to shit. It does. And I was like, no way. I run too many miles for that to happen. And
Oh, yeah.
sure enough, it was like the day I turned 30, it was like I immediately packed on a bunch of fat. And I had to start like looking at what I ate and started eating a little bit cleaner. It's like
Yeah, well, and that's one of the reasons I cut out alcohol is because it was just extra gain weight. I had no energy. Just didn't really like who I was when I was drinking. So yeah, I've definitely tried to be healthier. Um, so and I'm worried because like in the next few years, if I get pregnant, like then I got that weight to work off. So it's gonna be a constant battle for me, guys.
Well, that's a pretty
Listen,
popular one too. A lot of people like abstain from alcohol during training blocks and just swear on it being really good for them. So
yeah,
Yeah. So hopefully that helps.
yeah. But like Chase said, I think everyone needs to find what works for them, and there may be multiple things, and even as long as you're just making healthy choices, like you don't have to follow a keto plan. You don't have to follow a vegan plan or a vegetarian plan or a dairy-free plan. It's just, I think it boils down to making healthy choices. And healthy choices doesn't account for just the food that you're putting in your body, but when you're putting into your body, how much you're putting into your body, all of that is healthy choices.
for sure. Yeah, and I'm actually working on that. I'm working on my nutrition a little bit too. I'm actually working with a local company called ANS. I'll shout them out, Active Nutrition Supplements. They're local to like Southern Indiana. So if you're listening to this in Southern Indiana, if you go to the Vincent store, drop my name and you'll get 10% off. Plugging it right there. But getting their protein, and I'm big on protein, but I hate shaker bottles. Like I can't stand shaker bottles.
Yeah.
But I mix in a scoop of protein with my oatmeal every morning. I'm still big on protein ice cream. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I bought a Ninja Creamy around Christmas time, and it has been a godsend. Like protein ice cream in the evening. I know you just talked about not having a late night snack, Jake, but some casein protein, which is good for recovery, for that like late night recovery. Casein protein ice cream. Oh man, so good, so good. And a Ninja Creamy. You got to get a Ninja Creamy if you want to make yourself some protein ice cream.
Do you buy any of those? What's that brand? Kodiak, like the Kodiak pancakes, Kodiak waffles.
I've tried their oatmeal a few times. It's not bad.
Yeah,
But I'd
Caroline.
still like it's cheaper and more and healthier to just use regular oatmeal and put a scoop of protein in it. And I put a scoop of protein. I'll run through my recipe real quick. 2 tablespoons of collagen peptides, a handful of blueberries, handful of strawberries, about a half of an avocado's worth of frozen avocado, and some pink Himalayan salt, Greek yogurt, milk. That's a protein bowl right there. It's my morning oatmeal.
You just threw a bunch of random ingredients in there, Chase.
It's good. It's good. I'll share it. It's. I'm telling you, I swear by that. I never even liked oatmeal growing up, and now I eat it every day.
I'm the same way. and I like that they sell like the already made. You just have to add water. I'm like, you know what? Sign me up. They had like the cute little heart healthy on it. I was like, all right, sold.
You know what they have down here in Florida? Carolyn, you probably have it in Texas too. They have grits. And I had never even heard of grits until I moved down south here.
Really?
Yeah, like I've never, like, no, never even crossed my mind. And then
My
down
whole
here,
family's from Florida,
every
so
menu
yeah,
you
I
go
knew
to,
all
there's
about
grits.
grits.
I don't like grits. So I mean, oatmeal is what I usually just prefer over that. But no, my family loves grits.
The first time I tried to order grits, I felt like such an idiot because I wanted to try it, and I didn't even see it on the menu. I just knew they had it. I was like, yeah, and I'll take a side of grits. They're like, well, what kind of grits would you like? Like, what do you mean, what kind of grits? Like, help me out here. Like, well, we got cheese grits, we got garlic grits. Like, what kind of grits do you like? Just whatever's popular. Like, I don't know.
Whatever the kids are eating.
Like, just surprise me. So,
Well,
yeah.
look at us. Oh, and so did I tell you I got blood work done recently? I get it done like every
Yeah.
6 months. And this time I was deficient in vitamin D and B12, which is common for runners. And then I had too much of the bad cholesterol.
Mm.
I was like, what? So I already have to, change my diet.
No, I
Carolyn
think that's a
sneaking off
thing
the
with
free.
runners too. I don't know if you looked into it or not, but I'm always pretty high in was it LDL?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And that is tied to vitamin D.
Yeah.
So I'm on a vitamin D supplement at night and then a multivitamin with B12 in the morning.
Now I've also been drinking AG1. I tried that out. Pretty expensive. I don't know if I recommend it just yet. I've been drinking it for about 2 weeks, but the athletic greens that like Joe Rogan promotes, and you see it on a lot of different social sites. But actually, if you order it, it comes with the supply of was it D3K2 or K something like that. But it's a little dropper that you put in your AG1. So again, I've only been taking it for a couple weeks. I don't know if it's worth the money that you spend on it, but it's about like $90 a month, I think. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you, and we've already talked about it. Apparently, I'm getting too much vitamin D because I had to have some skin removed. So if you guys can't tell, I'm wearing a patch right here, and my nose actually isn't swollen. But yeah, I went into the doctor a few weeks ago because I had just some spots forming on my cheek in particular that I'd never seen before, and they kept getting bigger. And I was like, all right, this isn't good. So I went to the dermatologist, and they're like, yeah, that's early stages of cancer, and they throw out that cancer word, and that automatically throws up, red alarms. But they just said it was early stages. Today, I went in this morning. They also found some uh, I don't know, just some like even earlier stages on the tip of my nose. And so they did nitrous oxide and froze the nose piece and got that part off. And then this they actually had to do with a scalpel. They numbed it up a little bit, scalpeled it, cut it out, and this was the bigger spot right next to my nose. So guys, wear your sunblock and wear the right kind of sunblock. The doctor told me that, like, if you're wearing SPF 80, it actually does more damage to you than good. You should be wearing SPF 30, SPF 40, and there is such thing as too much vitamin D. Apparently, living proof right here. So
There you go. It was last summer we did like a summer running tip. So there's your summer running tip for this year.
yeah, and then today I went out for a run during my lunch, and my wife stopped me before I went out the door. Did you put on your sunblock? Put it on. I swear. I swear I did.
I'm horrible about wearing sunblock, so yeah, I definitely need to do that better.
Well, I get the chase tans now, and I call it the chase tans because I'll get the tan where like now I'll put my hair down here, so it doesn't do
Yeah.
that. But if my hair's up there, yeah, I'll get the little red mark because I always wear my hat backwards when I run. I don't wear it forwards
Yeah.
hardly ever.
That's why I gotta mix it up these days.
Man, you gotta wear your hat the other way. And I've started wearing a hat every time I run. I used to wear just sunglasses, and I'm like, this is not helping at all.
The only time I wear it forward is if it's raining because it does help with that. But yeah, otherwise it just feels weird. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right when I'm running to have the bill right there.
Right.
I know it defeats the purpose of what the hat is for, but for me, the
That's
hat
not true. It keeps the back of your neck from getting sunburnt.
will, and it does at least slow down the sweat dripping into my eyes. No matter which way the hat's facing. So
right. That's why that's why I've always worn a hat, because like I just never liked sweat getting in my eyes, so I always wear it. I tried wearing like a headband for a few years, but I just go with a hat.
Carolyn, do you have a hat within arm's reach right now?
Yeah, give me
I
one
want to see what you look like with a backwards hat on. Come on, let's all do it. All for the sake of the show and the viewers. Let's go, Carolyn.
Give me one
So we've all worn a hat before on the show, but I don't know that we've all worn one backwards. That's gangsta Carolyn.
Right.
C. Levy.
We need to come up with our own gangster names.
No, we probably don't.
All right, let's see. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Carolyn in a hat. Now that I think about it,
Yeah, she's worn a hat on here before because I remember us all wearing a hat one time. It was probably that hat too.
Oh my god, that's probably yeah. No, definitely turn that backwards for sure. We don't need.
You're muted,
on mute,
Carolyn.
But
for a good reason. Probably. I don't like that's so weird. I don't like.
There we go.
No, it just
See, that's the OG way to wear a hat. That's how. Now we're talking.
That's so.
This is a precursor to what we can expect in Chicago. 3 of us with our backwards hats. Let's get matching RunTok hats, guys.
Well,
you're the one that lives right down the road from Alter Ego. Tell him.
So, speaking of which, are you doing the virtual Alter Ego stuff? Is this weekend, 17th through the 19th?
Oh, is it?
Are you
I
doing
never
any
did
of those?
sign up for it. No.
I signed up. Well, I emailed them because I missed the cutoff date. So kind of like talking about good race directors and all that. I emailed them and asked if they could get me in, and they did. They got me. They added me manually. Then they're going to send me a bill because technically I have to pay for all the swag.
But you know what I did realize is this is the last episode that we'll do before Memorial Day. And you know what is on Memorial Day weekend this year?
The Memorial
Special
Day 5K.
Olympic year 2024 version of the Prefontaine Classic.
Yes.
And an absolutely stacked Bowerman Mile. A stacked Bowerman Mile.
Yeah, let's. I'm gonna bring that list up because I am super excited about it.
Josh Kerr, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, Cole Hawker, Hobbs Kessler, Ollie Hoare. I mean, they're all gonna be there. It is gonna be nuts.
Who is your favorite? Both of you. Who are your favorites to win? If you had to put money on one person to win, who's gonna win?
I'm gonna go Kerr, and here's the I'm saying that because he's just kind of like he's been kind of slowly cranking him right now, and the reason I don't think it's gonna be Ingebrigtsen is because I think he didn't really have a full indoor season, so I don't know that that's gonna work in his favor.
I'm actually gonna go out of left field here, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased because it's a USA athlete. But Nagoose, I think, takes the mile here.
I would almost go with Nagoose. Yeah, I don't know. I would absolutely love. Actually, my dream outcome would be to see Cole Hawker come out of nowhere and outkick everybody. Like that would just be that would be my dream scenario.
So
Because I've been wanting him to be back since since he got 6th place at the Tokyo Olympics in the 1500. So I mean, he destroyed Nagoose in their senior year or their last year in college. Like, I mean, he was just dominating them. So I'd love to see Cole Hawker get back in it.
So I'm looking at the results from last year, and Ingebrigtsen won, but Nagoose was literally right behind him by
set the American record.
Yeah, it was like 0.24 milliseconds behind him.
I will say Josh Kerr's mile record, or Josh Kerr will PR in the mile. I think there's no doubt about that, because I think his mile PR is like 48.
Okay.
So the winner will probably go 45 or better.
Well, what's fun about this field is with the names that we just mentioned, Ingebrigtsen, Nagoose, Kerr, they're all strong kick runners. So this is going to be a chess match too. Like, what is anyone going to do anything different, knowing that they're competing against literally probably 4 or 5 strong kickers, or are they all going to rely on their kick and hope that their kick is the best? Like,
I think they're going to go for it. I think they're just going to go for it.
So that's what I feel like you kind of have to do. And it's easy for me to say it because I'm not touching those guys with a 10-foot pole, but you have to go early on this one. I feel like you just have to go Prefontaine all out from the beginning. Like,
yeah. And just the shit talking between Ingebrigtsen and Kerr this past like 6 months has just been epic too. So I'm just
and who's gonna be the guy? Like, no one's gonna help each other in that race. Not in a mile. Not in this one. So who's gonna be the guy that goes out and leads the pack? Because there's got to be one that leads it. Who is it? Who's it gonna be? Like, who's gonna put in the work early? I think that's Ingebrigtsen, in all honesty, because I think that's the opposite of what he normally does.
I think it'll be Kessler. I think Kessler will take it from the gun,
and then everyone just hangs.
Yeah, everybody else. I think he'll make the race. That's kind of his MO. But he'll get outkicked in the last lap.
I know it's going to be fun. I won't be surprised really by any of whoever wins it. It's not going to surprise me. I think they're all capable of winning it. I want Nagoose to win it though, and I think he has a real shot. It's hard for me to say because they all have a real shot, but I think he's the guy. I think this is his year.
We'll see. I think it's just a precursor though, because obviously it's Olympic year, so the 1500 is going to be the event at the Olympics for me. I just can't wait to watch Kerr and Ingebrigtsen and Nagoose just go at it. And this is just going to, like I said, this is going to be the precursor to it, the preview.
So have they officially made the Olympic team, or because I know there's like a track event that kind of solidifies.
I think each country does theirs a little bit differently, but the U.S. trials is in June.
Okay, cool. I was
so it'd be towards the end of June, I think.
Man, that's not much turnaround.
Wow. Well, and they typically do it too. It's not like they're all just going to run one race and then qualify. You have to. There's qualifiers.
Trials. Yeah.
There's qualifiers to get to that final.
Yeah, qualifiers. Race. Yeah.
Wow.
It makes it fun.
Centrowitz is in this one too, isn't he? I think Centrowitz was on the starting list
for Bowerman.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get the whole field here.
And then on the women's side, the 1500 I think is pretty stacked too. I think St. Pierre, Nikki Hiltz.
Oh yeah, Centrowitz is in it.
Yeah.
So the headline is deepest Bowerman mile field ever assembled for 2024 Prefontaine Classic.
For sure.
It says both men and women. So for the men, you have, and I'm going to butcher some of these names, but you have Beamish, you have Centrowitz, you have...
Beamish is going to be in the mile? Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't realize that.
You've got Scheroit.
He's got a heck of a kick, too. Beamish has probably got the best kick in the field.
Yep. You got Mario Garcia, you got Germa, you got Gurley, you got Hoare, you got Hawker, Ingebrigtsen, Kerr, Kessler, of course, Kipsang, Myers, Nagoose, who I'm wanting, Jake Whitman. Yeah, 2 Olympic champions are running this with Centrowitz and Ingebrigtsen. 3 1,500-meter world champions and Beamish, Whiteman, and Kerr. Like it's a stacked field.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and no joke, Beamish has probably got the best, definitely last 200-meter kick in that field. No offense to anybody else, but Beamish is quick.
Where do they? Now I'll have to look it up. I know it's locally televised. Is that a nationally televised track and field event?
Probably. I would
It
imagine
may
it'd be on.
Peacock, right?
Might be
What?
Peacock, because it's after this year, starting next year, and this is some crap. We can talk about this a little bit, but after this year, Diamond League track is going to be televised on Flow Track only, and no longer televised on Peacock. So yeah, I think you can watch Prefontaine Classic on Peacock this year. But starting next year, it's going to be on Flow Track, which is absolute. Excuse my language. I feel like I've been cussing a lot in this episode. Bullshit, because Flow Track is 10 times more expensive than Peacock, and they're awful. They're god awful.
That doesn't make any sense to me because Peacock was bringing in so many viewers.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand it one bit. But if you follow Sidious Mag, I think on any of the social media platforms, Chris Chavez has been pretty upset about it too, because it just makes no sense.
So it says here that you can watch it live on Sidious Mag YouTube's channel, or you can watch it on NBC, Peacock, and CNBC.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. I'm glad Peacock's good. I can do Peacock. I'm actually going to be up in Michigan that weekend for my buddy's 40th birthday. So yeah, I'll be tuning in from my phone and Peacock.
We have here locally, on Memorial Day, it's a pretty big 5K race. It's actually one of the bigger 5Ks here. That's part of what, we always talk about our Grand Prix series, and it's the last race of our Grand Prix series. Or no, it's the second to last race in our Grand Prix series. And it's actually about 5 minutes from my house. It's really close to where I live. It's the closest one. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not, like you were just talking about, Carolyn, I'm not in 5K shape, but I love this race.
Yeah, I'll have a 5K coming up in June that I really like. That's in a nearby town. A really small town, but it's like a fun little German fest that they do every year. So I'm looking forward to that too. Put my 5K chops.
What's it like running a 5K in the summer when it's not 100 degrees? Will you educate? Because I can't imagine.
I mean, it's usually pretty hot there every year, so.
I was going to say, it's still probably hot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think last time I ran that race, it was it may not have been in the 90s at the time of the race, but it was shortly afterwards.
I'm over the heat, man. I ran last week and the feels like was 105, so I'm already over summer. Done.
I feel you. We've had this discussion. I used to be a summer runner, and now I am a winter runner. I prefer the cold.
Same.
No, I run slower in the summer, but I am happier with my run. Like I like it more. So I don't know. I ran during my lunch break because that was the only time I had to do it, and it was 89% humidity. Like right now it says it's 78% humidity at 9:00 at night. It was 89% humidity and it was 96 degrees with a real feel of 102.
Absolutely not. That's warmer than Texas is.
Texas will get hotter though, temperature wise.
Yeah.
But our humidity is what really gets us in Florida. Like the humidity makes it pretty unbearable.
I got a few more weeks of 70s before we get up to that level.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. And all of you guys that are listening, and there's a lot of us doing Chicago. Hardest thing about the Chicago Marathon is the fact that you're summer training for Chicago. So your hot weather training, no matter where you are, it's hot, at this time of year. So it will be for the next 3-ish months at least.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good times. But we're all still going to PR at the Chicago Marathon.
Yeah, 3 BQs.
And Chase, you're doing Boston 2025, right? Thinking about it, anyways.
No, that's definitely. I can say with almost certainty that that's not happening. Just because, like I said, I'm already doing Disney,
That's right.
and then that's my 5-year anniversary, and my wife and I are going to Greece. So just a lot of travel already booked up for that year. So unless something crazy happens and I can make Boston work on a quick trip and a budget, then I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, I totally forgot that you were doing Disney too, so that makes perfect sense. Boston will be my 2025 my big race at that point in time.
I'll happily. I'll look into it. I'll try to find some way to make it feasible, but I just don't see it happening. Maybe if we get real big, and we get some sponsors here over the next few months, and somebody wants to send us out there for free. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge to anybody who.
Yeah, Brooks Running, you want to sponsor us? We have 3 huge fans on the podcast here. That's 33% true.
I said some decent things last week about the Brooks Ghost Max. I've been talking good about the Brooks Ghost Max.
You were very nice. I appreciate it.
If I get a discount code to Brooks, maybe I'll try the new Hyperion Elites and see if they do me wrong for a third time.
Aren't they the Vaporfly 3.5s?
Yeah, that's what. Well, let's see. Although, we talked about it, I'm not super impressed with the new Vaporflies. I am impressed with the new Alpha Flies, which I haven't been impressed with their previous shoes. So
you said you did like them?
I did like them. Unfortunately I did have to return them because me and Sim, who we've had on this show, we both had to return our Alpha Flies after just a few miles because a piece of the bottom of the shoe actually broke off. So I think his actual carbon fiber plate cracked, and then a piece of the foam actually broke off, and I wore them for a 5K race, and about a mile and a half in, I noticed like this super loud sound, and when I took the shoes off after the race, I noticed a piece of the bottom was gone. So we returned them. We're waiting for our size to come back in, so we're already sold out.
I was kind of looking forward to them too, but I'm wanting to try out one of the new Asics Metaspeed Edge or the Metaspeed Skies. I'm intrigued by those. They've been getting a lot of rave reviews.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them too. So I don't know. I think it's time to give Brooks another shot, and then I have very low expectations, so just do something right, Brooks. Just do something right by me, and I'll stop bashing you for a little bit.
Like I said, the Ghost Maxes have been very good. I think I'm almost 300 miles in on them, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them.
Well, we'll see. Stay tuned, listeners. I'll let you know when and if I get a pair of Brooks shoes. If someone wants to throw a discount code my way, we'll see.
Talk me after the show.
There we go. I mean, I wasn't referring to you, Carolyn. That's also a lie. Never mind. All right.
I just wanted to catch up with Greg since he missed him last week.
Yeah, 100%. Talk to me after the show. We'll see what we can do.
All right, guys. Well, we are 1 hour into this episode of RunTok Live. Good episode. Fun.
That was a good job. We just kind of shot from the hip on that one. Really didn't have any plan, and that was a lot of fun.
Definitely. Well, any final thoughts before we sign off for us for the nighttime?
Yeah, so we are starting to plan the RunTok Live meetup in Chicago. So if any of our listeners are running it, slide into one of our 3 DMs and let us know. So we can kind of start getting a list together.
Looking forward to it too. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And you guys get to meet my little 3-year-old. Well, she'll still be 3.
Excited!
She'll still be 3 then. She acts like she's 12 though, so just you guys have been warned.
No, I need to go running with her, and then I need her to cheer us on, like after our takeout run.
Oh, she is all about the high fives. So
I'm down.
she loves. I don't know if you've been watching my TikTok videos. About every couple of months, I'll do a high five video where I take her out on our running pass and just have her high five runners, and she loves it.
That's awesome.
So, well, cool. Well, what about you, Chase? Final sign off words? Words of wisdom?
Nope. I'm fresh out of wisdom this evening. But you can join, if you can't make it to Chicago, you can join me and Carolyn and Indy about a month later.
Yep, I'm doing the half marathon, and Chase, you're probably gonna crush the marathon. We'll be there I'll be there all weekend. So
That's a maybe. No full-time commitment for me yet.
You loved it last year, Jake. Come on.
I did. No, it has nothing to do with the race itself, other than I probably won't go for that VIP experience again unless they up their game there, because that VIP experience.
Apply to be an ambassador.
Maybe.
Apply to be an ambassador, and then you get the VIP experience for free.
You got the VIP experience and didn't even use it.
I didn't, but I didn't know about the parking that was right next to the race.
Oh,
you can believe I'll use it this time.
That was awesome.
Right there by the starting line. I did not realize I got to park right there by the starting line.
It took me 10 seconds to walk. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, Carolyn, where can everybody find us?
Okay, so we are on Facebook. I need to be better about posting to our Facebook group, so join it, please. It's RunTok Live. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. School is about to be out, so we'll be on Apple. You can follow us on Instagram at RunTok Live. You can email us. Really anything, joke of the day, whatever, at runtalklive@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram at Carolyn M. Levenway and TikTok at Carolyn McDuff. Chase, where can people find you?
Yep, all the above. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm not on there so much anymore, but you can always message me and I'll get the messages. Follow me on X, Chaser No Pacer.
Yep.
Jake,
guys,
swinging it over to you.
You can follow me as always on TikTok, which is my biggest platform, at The Cultural Runner. You can also find me on Instagram. And Carolyn, I'm super impressed with just everything you listed off. You totally shot that out like you were reading it from a screen. Super impressed by that.
Thanks. Yeah. Now that school is out, I do really want to put stuff on Apple Podcasts. We've had a couple listeners that have requested that. We've listened, and we'll get that going.
Perfect. Well, guys, this has been another fun episode of RunTok Live. And my words of wisdom: stay in school, don't do drugs, and run some miles. And
wear sunscreen.
And rare sunscreen.
Wear sunscreen.
All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next episode of RunTok Live.
Deuces.
Peace.